After digesting, yesterday's win, we're really proud to be here and to be one of the 8 teams still in the tournament. I'm just really looking forward to another battle with Pitt. Again, 2 great programs, a little ACC rivalry, and it's always extra fun when you get to see them again in the tournament.
Yes, for other players, what can you speak on? What can you say about the rivalry itself and how it's grown over the past few seasons?
It's just always been a great match, great environment. I think we know that we're both going to be pushed offensively, defensively in regards to both teams, and we're both ready for the challenge. And, one team's going to win in the end. Hopefully that's us, but we're for sure ready to give them a good battle.
What was your guys' reaction when you guys found out they were in the same bracket, or same quarter of the bracket as them?
I think our reaction in the moment was our name got called. We're going to the tournament again. I think we were just celebrating that and looking at who we were matched up with, Wright State, and knowing, okay, this is going to be a tough one because we'd played them before. And so honestly don't think we were too caught up on where we were going, more like, okay, we know who we're going to play, and that's kind of where our focus on. But of course we were super excited to get called in the tournament. And then I think Dani touched on a couple of days ago too, it's good to know that you're not going to a state, like for me, I'm not going to a state I've never been to before. So it's like, okay, we kind of know what food we might get because, the restaurants in town and stuff, so it's slightly familiar, but we were just really excited to see our names get called and know who we were going to play and start prepping them the next day.
Yes, for other players, it's your 3rd straight Elite 8. How important is having that experience being in this home before important for tomorrow's match?
I think it's super important, especially knowing that we have a lot of newer players to our program that have been such an integral part of our success this season. So for us, and I know like for Debo and some other older players, CC, because we have been to an Elite 8 before, we have an expectation of what that pressure feels like, and we're able to kind of communicate that to the rest of our team and be like, okay, yes, we've been here before, but let's tell you, like, this is going to be really hard. There's only 8 teams that will be playing tomorrow, and that's a big deal, and so we just communicate that to them and make sure they know that, like, this is a big stage. We got to give it our all every single time.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting because we do have a few players that are well-seasoned just in this part of postseason, but we also have a lot of players and younger girls coming up that it's going to be really good for them to feel this pressure because I feel like this program has had a really good postseason precedence. So I think building them up in these moments is going to be huge for just tomorrow and the future to come in their careers and for the program.
Is there a benefit to playing a team you are so familiar with this late in the year? I know both teams are obviously familiar with each other, but does it help in preparation at all?
At this point in the season, I don't know if it does, just because like when we think back to like the first round when we played Wright State, yes, we had played them before, but that was all the way in the beginning of the season. Now we're deep in the tournament where teams are playing their best volleyball, so we scout them as if we have never played them before because they're doing things differently, we're doing things differently. So it's maybe there is, because we, like, if the coaches call out someone's number, we kind of know what that person looks like and we know who they are. But we're treating them like we've never played them before because we want to be fresh and want to be dialed into what they might do.
Always good to get a day off, too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, huge. Especially when you think about how, Pitt played 3 sets, we played 5. So if we were playing today, that'd be a pretty big advantage for sweeping somebody on Thursday. So definitely big time the NCAA changed that.
Ayden, Aiko, either of you, this is your last year. Does it ever set in that, like, any match could be your last in a Louisville uniform, especially yesterday going 5 sets? Like, does that give you an extra push there at the end of the match to keep going?
Yeah, I think yesterday during the Creighton match, we were definitely getting pushed in ways that made me think about, okay, this could be my last match, but there's just something about this team that pulls through in the grittiest of ways that you just know you're going to overcome and win that match. So we hit the end of the 4th set, starting the 5th set, and I just looked at CC Rush, another senior in my position, and I was like, we got this. It's going to be fine. I think our team just overcomes in so many situations and tough challenges, and it's really impressive because we've been pushed a lot of times this year, and every time we get through it perfectly fine.
Yeah, I would agree. I would think, too, it's like that this is your last season, but I think that's been the biggest motivating factor for me, knowing that, okay, this is my last time on the court. I'm going to play free, and I'm just going to leave it all out there so I know that looking back, I'll know, okay, I gave my all on that day. And I think I've tried to do that throughout this whole year. It's like, okay, this is my last time playing Wright State. I'm going to show them Aiko, and hopefully that's what they remember me for. And yesterday in the fourth, I mean, it got pretty close, and it was, in the moment, you think, you get a flash of that thought, like, I don't want to go out like this. But then you look around, and, like, I realized we had enough riz to pull that through and to make it to the fifth. And trusting in my team, like AB said, it's something special about this team, knowing we can get through tough moments like that.
Ayden, you are primarily a serving specialist. What's it like to just, like, you're in that one role, and how do you, like, get your mindset ready for that, like, one role?
Yeah, I think it's not easy, but I've lived to enjoy those moments, and you know, it's been a great opportunity just to grow on and off the court. I feel like I'm better in high pressure situations just in life now because of it. But I really embraced it, and who knows? Like, I could do like a normal DS role. I could get in there and pass and do a lot of other things. But I think just owning that and knowing that I'm in there to hit a serve with authority and then play defense behind it and point score as best as I can, I really embraced it and I've enjoyed it. And I think it's added a different asset to my persona as a person.
I know you guys come with a mission, win games, and are so focused on that, but do you ever get to take a moment to enjoy and recognize that you are one of the best 8 teams in the country?
Every day. I think
Yeah.
our program's really good at that, and our coaches never fail to remind us after wins, losses, that where we are is a big deal. I mean, it's like, okay, soak this in. Like, every practice last week, they'd be like, only 64 teams get to practice today. Only 32 teams get to practice today. And then Monday was like, only 16 teams are practicing today. So we remind ourselves of that every day, and we soak that in. But like we said, at the same time, we realize that took a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of hard work to then be the only 8 teams practicing and so on. So we recognize that, and we recognize the work that it'll take to keep going.
You guys, like, yourself watching that game?
Well, I think it's just, you can pick up things maybe on certain players or like little tendencies when you see things live. So I always think it's great to watch them live, even if I'm not, taking notes on every point or drawing a line of where the ball went. You're still watching and trying to figure out a way to maybe score one extra point.
Did they look differently from that vantage point than they did coaching against them?
Not really. I mean, because they're really good. They played great yesterday. So I was not surprised by anything they were doing. I do think when you're watching from as a fan or a scouting, you maybe get a little more, anxiety about, oh, wow, that was really good, or, oh, how are we going to stop that? When you're in the game, you're thinking
Maybe
direction. Yeah.
you miss the stuff, right? You might miss it.
Yeah, exactly.
So much of your offense runs through Anna and Jared. Pitt obviously has pretty solid odds hitters themselves and the fastest winners in Stafford. I mean, what this makes the battle between the 2 outside hitters on both sides of the ball such an enticing matchup?
I just think it's, a battle of like really good volleyball players, and not that many teams have all of their pins playing all the way around. And, us and Pitt do. And so it's pretty clean volleyball. And I think that's what makes this rivalry really fun and always really tight, because it's just very, very good volleyball players on the floor, not just like athletic volleyball players. It's players that, can make plays and are smart and have high volleyball IQ.
Coach, you're running a little bit of a different lineup than you were the last time you guys played Pitt. What went into that decision to kind of switch it up, especially late in the season?
I just, both Briggy and Reese are new to the program, and I think it takes a while for them to, be comfortable. And I think Reese in particular has really improved as a blocker, and it's like, okay, let's get her on the floor. How do we do that? And luckily, Briggy, has one of the best serves in the country. And so it's like, how can we get them on the court without disrupting the rhythm of the team? And that's just developed throughout the year. We've used them, throughout the year a lot. It's just they've really started to make an impact late, which is pretty cool.
Coach, asking a question from the Zoom. Playing a team that you already have played twice this year, how much do you look back at those matchups, and how much do you have to leave that in the past with the stakes of the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think you look at them a lot, because it's more, though, from a viewpoint of, like, how do we score against them? What did they change and the second time we played them, and kind of trying to anticipate what they might do tomorrow. But, yeah, I mean, the mistakes you made or things that you messed up, you got to let that go. And I just think certain players might rise to the occasion, and different players step up during the NCAA tournament. So, yeah, you can't dwell on it too much. But it does tell you a lot, I think, about how we want to stop each other or attack each other.
Coach, Elena Scott, you won Defensive Player in the ACC, and you were a great libero yourself in Nebraska. Do you take a little bit of pride in having a great back row as a coach, too?
Yes, I always felt like my whole career as a player and a coach, liberos are underrated. So I think now in the past, I don't know, 3 years, they're starting to get the recognition that they deserve, and they play a huge, huge role on our team, and we pride ourselves in doing a great job of building, like, we call them an army of bros, not just one great libero, but multiple. And Elena is really special. She didn't play libero till she got to Louisville, so just incredible what she's been able to do, and she still has another year left, which is exciting for us. But, yeah, incredible player.
What does having a great libero do, like, to be a mismatch against the other team?
I think, a great libero will cover up some of your weaknesses, because if they're a great passer, anybody can kill balls off a great pass. And so when you're in system, it helps a lot with the offense. So she just does everything. And then she's also so smart, like out of system setting. She's great. We know, our hitters know where it's going to be. They can approach with confidence. I think that plays into it. So just having somebody that's such a good volleyball player and really consistent at that position is very important this time of year.
Coach, we asked the players about the rivalry and how it's grown, but for you as a coach, how have you seen it grow, and how cool is it to have these two great ACC teams meeting late in the NCAA tournament 2 years in a row now?
I think it just says a lot about the conference and, the competitiveness of it. And so it's really impressive. And I always say, like, it's going to be way different next year with Stanford and Cal. But, up to this point, I think Pitt and Louisville, we've needed each other. And it's really helped us grow and pushed us. And, you're always chasing each other, trying to one-up each other. But, that's what makes it fun. I think the players, too, it's special to have a big rivalry. And not everybody gets to have one. And so it's pretty awesome for them to experience what it feels like to have a rival.